name a room besides the beverage one, and I've probably sat in it and belong there. So for me, there is no either or.
Yeah.
You know, Al-Anon is the only room. You know, if you know someone or love someone who's an alcoholic, you cannot stop nagging, managing, and controlling people, places, and things. Like, I couldn't keep sobriety. If they gave out chips, I'd last about 2 minutes on average a day. But for every other program, it is pretty binary. Like, I know when I'm binging. I know when I'm restricting. Like, it's for me. Your family, besides your mom, you know, being diagnosed with cancer, you were diagnosed with MS.
Yeah.
Which is multiple sclerosis. And that was over 10 years ago. You were diagnosed when you were 26, is that right?
Wait, hold on. Do the math there. I was 26, yeah.
Okay. Do you like to describe what multiple sclerosis is?
Sure.
To our friends at home?
Yeah.
Or would you like to go ahead?
Well, how about this? I'll give my explanation.
I'm
You tell
sure
me
you're
how-
right.
Wait, I don't,
No,
I
it's
don't
your
know.
thing.
But you've had education. I've had the internet and
Please.
hour-long conversations
Well, please.
every year with a doctor. That's
Well,
it.
I'd like to ask two things. I'd like for you to explain to people what multiple sclerosis is. It's one of those things we kind of didn't talk about, you know, and many people have it. It tends to it tends to happen in women a lot,
Yeah.
but also in men. Please tell us what multiple sclerosis is, and also can you talk about the years before that you had symptoms but didn't put it together, because that's often what happens with multiple sclerosis.
Yeah. So multiple sclerosis is an autoimmune disease that in which your body attacks your nervous system. There is myelin around your nerve endings, which is a fatty tissue, which essentially is the insulation to your nerves, and multiple sclerosis will eat away the myelin, thus exposing the nerve and eroding it over time. And then you will get calcification over that nerve, and it will cease to fire efficiently, and then eventually it will shut down.
And this is one of those things that when people often present with symptoms, and in particular women, they were often told, like, it's in your head. You're fine. Like, you're
Take some Advil.
take some Advil. Like, you're just sleepy. Drink some caffeine. Like, maybe you need to masturbate. Like, the dumb things, well, like the dumb things the doctors tell women when they come into things. But for people who have symptoms, it's often not pinpointed. So, looking back, what were some of the things that you started noticing?
So I was having things like, the primary one was my legs went numb for like 3 months, and it was a really weird kind of
Yeah,
numb.
what does that mean? Like, explain it to us.
So if I would touch my legs, it would feel like, even if I just had, didn't have any clothing on, so.
I don't want to think about it.
I touched my leg, and it would feel like I had like clothing on. Like if you touch, you can kind of feel pressure, but you can't feel skin to skin.
Oh.
And then if cold water touched my legs, it felt burning hot. And if hot water touched my legs, it felt icy cold. And it was really odd. Like what got me going, like, what the hell was that? I was getting in the shower, my belt buckle touched my leg, and it was a full belt buckle. And I was like, ow, like, what the hell is that? I've been at a festival, and
I dressed twice in the last 30 seconds of the race.
Sorry. So there I was, slowly unbuttoning my pants, the steam of the shower filling the space.
Sorry, I'm very serious right now.
There was some smooth jazz playing. I thought I'd just pinched it out of my back. I was at a festival, and I twinged my back at one point that weekend, and I just thought that's what it was. Then I started having weird, like, bladder issues. I was, like, peeing every 30 seconds. And I was like, oh my God, am I getting diabetes? Is that what this is?
Or like it could be a UTI, or like who knows?
Something. Yeah. And so I just thought, and so between the numb legs and then that a couple months later, but I had this weird inkling, and I don't know why, and I have no reason to. I remember I was in my garage, like, fussing about, and I was like, wow, like everyone I know has got some kind of like ailment and is on some kind of medication. I'm not on any medication. And then I had the thought of, but there's something wrong and I don't know what it is. And I have no idea why. It just like, it was like a blip into my head.
Wow.
And then my daughter was born in April of 2012. And I had to go, I was doing a ghost show. I was up in Utah. And I went to go see Avengers, like, of all movies. And when I was coming home from the movie theater. We stopped at a gas station. I was talking to I was paying at the register, and there's a little black dot that appeared in the center of my vision. It was like in movies when they change the film, you see the little. It was like, flip, and then it just stayed. I was like, okay. So I bought some Advil at the gas station. I was like, maybe I have a migraine because I used to get like ocular migraine. Yeah. And the next morning, the little dot was like a cigar shape.
Holy moly.
And then by the end of the day, it was like a Tetris piece, like the L sideways. Yeah. And then within 48 hours later, I had lost 95% of my central vision in my right eye.
What were you doing for 2 days? Still thinking it's gonna go away?
Taking Advil.
And giving yourself an ulcer because you really shouldn't take that much ibuprofen.
Drinking tons of water, drinking coffee. I'm like, it's a migraine. It's a migraine. I fly home. My ex-wife picked me up. We go to the eye doctor because it was my eye, and he knew what it was, but he couldn't say it because he's not a neurologist. Yeah. So he was running all of these tests, and he's like, "Hey, I'm calling over to Cedars. You need to go and get an MRI immediately." And he couldn't say why. He's like, "There's something else going on here." And so I went over there, and they put me in the machine, and hey, I won the lottery.
That's a really, a very interesting, obviously, very interesting description, and, vision and bladder are often, some of those first signs, and, there's not all the nerves in your nervous system are the same, and so certain are more susceptible, to
I didn't know that.
This demyelination, yeah, so that's why you often see those, that's fascinating, and, in terms of autoimmune conditions, this is one, you have relapsing remitting, is that, there's different types of multiple sclerosis. So, are you on a regimen? Like, what do you do for it? Because autoimmune conditions have a lot of different ways to, treat them, too. Some people, cut out gluten, there's things. What is what's your life like with?
I'm the world's worst MS patient. Terrible. Do not follow or do whatever I do.
Got it.
I'm the guy that well, you can't do high endurance things. You shouldn't overexert yourself. You shouldn't have too much stress. You shouldn't have da. I stopped taking my medication about 5 years ago.
Huh. How do you feel?
I feel great.
You do you.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not your
know why. It's just like this, and it frustrates my wife, the kingdom come. I stopped doing it because I wanted to do an experiment on myself to see how long I could go without having a flare-up.
How's that going?
I'm going 5 years strong.
I'm fine with that.
Touch wood.
Wow.
But I went to Germany and did a bunch of stem cells about 2 years after my diagnosis.
Oh.
And
whose stem cells? Somebody else?
No, they were mine.
Yours.
Yeah.
They regenerate.
Yeah, they took them out of my blood, harvested them over 10 days.
Wow.
And then plugged them back in.
So many jokes about German stem cells.
Oh, wait. Believe me, I made them all to their face. They looked at me at one point, and they're like, "Oh, where we are, we send them off to the oldest stem cell clinic in Germany."
Stop it.
And I'm like, "Oh, cool." Thinking, "Oh, 1970s, 1947." And then the Nazi jokes just started flying. I just did.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Wow,
That's
okay."
when you pull out your mother's father's card.
Oh yeah, fully. Absolutely.
You're like, I will benefit from these stem cells.
Yes, I will.
It is the least you can do.
Yep.
I've had to know about stem cells at some point in my life. So they take your blood.
Yep.
Walk us through it. They take your blood out, and then there's these pluripotent, amazing magic cells. Great.
Yes.
And then they put them back in.
Yes.
Anywhere.
They come out with like a super soaker. They just squirt you.
You bathe in them?
Yep. No, what they did was. No, actually. So while they're harvesting them over 10 days, they injected them back in, but I'll get to kind of why and where they did what they did. So over the 10 days, I had chelation therapy, ozotherapy, crazy detox, pull out all this craziness in my blood and body and kind of purify myself. Yeah. Because the way that they explained it was stem cells will go after things that are broken and heal. So let's try and get you healed inside as much as possible, get your gut health dialed in. So after the 10 days, they were like, okay, here's what we're going to do. Here's your little vial of, it came in. Yeah. we think we can inject it into your optic nerve and it can heal your eyesight. And I'm like, okay, so what does that look like? They're like, we take a needle and it goes under your eyeball, into your, and I'm like, so you want to stick a freaking needle under my eyeball, into my
Do you
nose?
want to live or don't you, Jack?
My response was, nope. And so they injected the stem cells into my lymphatic system.
Wow.
They did that to,
How do they do that?
they just kind of feel around for the lymph
okay.
nodes, and they just start
Got
plugging them
it.
into my lymph nodes. And it was their mindset was, you have an autoimmune disease, so let's get your immune system as bright and shiny
Right.
new as we possibly can.
Right. Do you do anything else? I have an autoimmune condition that is thyroid. That's where God decided to punish me.
Wait, that's the only thing about it?
Well,
Because
there's other
wow,
things.
you're lucky.
No, what I meant was not that God was punishing you. I meant that God was like, let's take her thyroid out. So I'm
You
a.
don't need that.
It's not important at all. So there are certain things. Do you do other things? I know
Yes.
you do a lot of advocacy,
Yes.
and also I should say you're not a spokesperson for people going off their medication for
No.
MS. Like I have friends who get chemo for MS. Like there are many ways to treat many different kinds of MS, and everybody's MS is different. Depends on the lesions and where the lesions are. So like this is not Jackie.
It also
like,
depends on how
don't take
stupid
this-
you are. I'm pretty
No, but
stupid.
I didn't say that. But what I do believe is true is that you are responsible for your decisions,
Yes.
and so many times in the medical world, and also you've been through the medical ringer. Like you've had people poking and prodding you, even in the name of helping you. You've been poked and prodded,
Yeah.
so you also get like the dignity to to live your life. But are there other things that you do? I mean, you're very active,
Yes.
and that's really awesome. But yeah, are there other things you do?
I do a ton of active things. Exercise, CrossFit, jiu-jitsu, I surf, I rock climb. My whole thing is I have a disease that wants to stop my body from moving, so don't let it. Just keep moving no matter what.
Right.
If something happens, I'll just figure out a way to work around it. That's kind of been my mindset with it. So yeah, that's kind of, but I do believe in diet and exercise for this. I think that gut health has a huge, is a huge component to any autoimmune. That's just my theory.
No, it's the thing. I mean,
Yeah.
inflammatory foods, all the hippies I knew who were like, I don't eat nightshades. I was like, you're ridiculous. And then like I got an autoimmune condition. They're like, are you eating nightshades? Yeah. So yeah, those things
Oh,
are
you don't
things.
eat nightshades, do you?
Tomatoes. Your dad has Parkinson's,
Yeah.
which is a neurological disorder of a different variety, but also when you talked about kind of slowing down and my father had a Parkinson's-related disease that he died of. He had multi-system atrophy, which looks a lot like Parkinson's, but also looks kind of like Lou Gehrig's. What have you learned, sort of, in your you are a young man, he is an older man. What have you learned when you sort of think about the movement of your body and your abilities versus that of your parents?
I've learned that I can't say shit to my dad because he just won't listen.
Is he also a bad patient?
Terrible. Actually, no, he's not. If a doctor were to be like, okay, Mr. Osborne, you're gonna paint your head purple and dip it in feathers and run through the street naked and you'll be cured, my dad would be like, okay, doctor. If a doctor says it, that's what it is.
Right.
Which is great, but there's a lot of things which can benefit which aren't in a textbook. And doctors have to, they can only tell you what's in the textbook or what they have been taught from said manuscript. And yes, it's a wealth of knowledge.
Do you want him to do cryotherapy? I'm curious what you want him to do.
No, I like food and food.
You mean like actually eating things that help your body and not eating things that don't?
Totally.
Got it.
My dad is my dad just will, he gets locked in on certain things, and that's all he'll eat.
Celebrity dads, they're just like the rest of dads.
Right? That's just like us. It's, stuff like, hey, go do yoga. Go do Pilates. Go do low impact stuff that's going to strengthen your body, because your body wants to just essentially kill you right now. So fight that. Do you think we're going to be like that when we're old with our kids?
I mean, look, I'm already such a hippie that, like, I don't know what's gonna happen. You know, my parents were documentary filmmakers, and they, like, got tear gassed at, you know, at, like, the mall in Washington, like, they protested Vietnam.
Good bragging.
And, no, but, you know, they got, when my father passed away, almost 2 years ago,